The message appeared on my phone just as I lifted the first bite of steak to my mouth. Get up and go. Don't say anything to your son. For a moment, I thought it was a joke. A wrong number, maybe. My phone buzzed again on the wooden table between me and my son, Michael. The candlelight from the restaurant table flickered across the screen. I felt a strange chill run through my chest. Across from me, Michael smiled casually as he sipped his wine. "Dad, you're going to love this place," he said. "Best steakhouse in the city." Michael rarely invited me out to dinner. That alone had surprised me earlier that day. For the past few years, our relationship had grown distant. Not hostile, just cold. So when he called and said, "Let's have dinner tonight, Dad, just us," I agreed immediately. But now, staring at that message, something felt wrong. My phone buzzed again. Another text from the same unknown number. "If you want to stay alive, stand up and leave the restaurant right now. Walk outside. Do not warn your son." My throat tightened. Alive? Was this some kind of prank? I slowly looked up at Michael. He was cutting his steak calmly, humming slightly to the soft jazz music playing through the restaurant speakers. My son looked completely normal. Too normal. I turned the phone over in my hand and typed back. "Who is this?" 3 dots appeared. Then another message. "There is a bomb under your table." The fork slipped from my fingers and clattered against the plate. Michael looked up. "You okay, Dad?" My heart pounded so loudly I was sure he could hear it. I forced a weak smile. "Yeah, just dropped my fork." But inside my head, panic exploded. A bomb. Under our table. I glanced down carefully. The tablecloth hung long enough to hide anything beneath. My phone buzzed again. "Stand up now, walk outside slowly. If you warn him, both of you die." My chest tightened. Whoever sent the message clearly knew exactly where I was. But how? And why? I swallowed hard. Michael wiped his mouth with a napkin. "You seem nervous," he said casually. "Everything all right?" Something about the way he said it made the hairs on my arms stand up. Was it just my imagination? Or did he already know? I forced a chuckle. "Just need some air." I pushed my chair back slowly. My legs felt weak as I stood. Michael looked confused. "You leaving already?" "I'll be right back," I said. Then I walked. Every step felt like walking across a minefield. My heart screamed at me to run. But the text said slowly. So I walked slowly past the other tables, past the waiter carrying drinks, past the glass doors of the restaurant. The moment I stepped outside, I inhaled sharply. Cool night air filled my lungs. My phone buzzed again. "Good, now walk to the parking lot." My hands trembled as I obeyed. Once I reached the empty edge of the lot, I typed furiously. "Who are you? What is going on?" The reply came instantly. "Turn around." I turned. A black SUV sat behind me. The driver door opened. A woman stepped out. She wore a dark coat and had sharp, serious eyes. I didn't recognize her. She walked toward me quickly. "Jonathan." "Yes." She grabbed my arm. "We need to move." "What about my son?" I protested. "Your son is the problem," she said. The words hit me like a punch. "What are you talking about?" She pulled a badge from her coat. "FBI." My mind spun. "We've been investigating your son for 6 months," she said. "Human trafficking, financial fraud, and murder." I stared at her. "No, that's impossible." But deep down, a small, quiet part of me wasn't surprised. Michael had changed over the past few years. He suddenly became wealthy. Expensive cars. luxury apartments, but he always brushed it off. Business investments, he'd say. I never questioned him. Maybe I didn't want to know. He planted the bomb, the agent continued. We intercepted a message from his partner 15 minutes ago. My blood ran cold. Why would he kill me? She looked at me carefully. You recently changed your will, didn't you? I nodded slowly. 2 weeks ago. I had decided to donate most of my estate to charity, instead of leaving everything to Michael. I told him about it during our last phone call. His reaction had been quiet. Too quiet. He found out, the agent said. My stomach twisted. Then why text me to leave? Because we've been watching him, she said. We couldn't move in time to evacuate the restaurant without alerting him, so we warned you. I looked back toward the glowing restaurant windows. Michael was still inside. My son. The boy I raised. The boy whose scraped knees I cleaned. The boy whose baseball games I never missed. And now, he wanted me dead. Suddenly, boom! The explosion shattered the night. Glass burst outward from the restaurant windows. People screamed. Smoke poured into the air. My knees buckled. Michael, I whispered. But the agent grabbed my arm again. Stay back. Police cars and sirens filled the street within minutes. Firefighters rushed inside the restaurant. I stood there, shaking, staring at the smoke. Half an hour later, a police officer approached us. He's alive, he said. Relief and dread mixed together in my chest. Where is he? The FBI agent asked. In custody. 2 days later, I sat in an interrogation room. Michael sat across from me, his hands cuffed. His face looked pale and tired. But when he looked up at me, there was no remorse. Why? I asked quietly. He shrugged. You changed the will. That's why you tried to kill me. You were giving my inheritance away, he said coldly. Everything I worked for. I felt something inside my chest break. I raised you, I said softly. You raised me poor, he snapped. I fixed that. You became a criminal. I became successful. The room went silent. Then I stood up. I hoped the money was worth it. I walked toward the door. Before leaving, I turned back once more. You didn't lose your inheritance, Michael, I said. You lost your father. Michael was sentenced to life in prison the following year. The investigation uncovered dozens of crimes. Fraud, extortion, trafficking, things I never imagined my son could do. For months, I blamed myself. Where did I go wrong? What moment turned my son into a stranger? But over time, I realized something important. You can give your children love. You can give them guidance. You can give them opportunity. But you cannot control the choices they make. Today, I spend my time working with charities that help victims of the very crimes my son committed. It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives my life purpose. And sometimes, that is the only way to survive betrayal.